We're live?
We're live.
Here it
We're
is.
alive or live?
Just live.
Just
Column
live.
A, column B.
Yeah. Little here, little this, little that. You can get with this or you can get with that. Yeah.
What's up, guys? How you guys been?
What up? Welcome back, everybody.
Yeah. We got the full crew here this week. So it's,
Full strength.
That's right.
Full strength, man. Strength in numbers here. Big week here, guys. Some championships to discuss here in between the hardwood and the frozen pond here. So without further ado, I think we should just jump right on into this.
Yeah, so let's start in the NBA, and OKC got it done. Game 5, OKC jumped out to a big lead. Indiana made it interesting, but OKC was able to hold on for the win in that game. Game 6, Indiana was able to stave off elimination, but Game 7, Halliburton, he gets that Achilles tear and he's done for next season, let alone the Game 7. That happened in the first quarter. Indiana was able to have the lead at halftime, but OKC just turned it up and turned it into a blowout by the end of the game. And there's your championship. Just not enough to overcome that injury. It's kind of cruel for it to end that way, you know.
Maybe reminiscent of what the Warriors fans had to deal with a couple years back.
2019.
Exactly what I was thinking. Yeah.
I just it felt wrong, you know, like that it ended this way. But
yeah,
as soon as it happened and they're showing the replay, you see where he pushes off, and you see that his calf kind of twitch.
Yeah,
I looked at Julie and I go, "Oh, his Achilles is done. He's done."
yeah.
And just because of how many of Achilles injuries we've seen the past, I'll say year, and you see that in all of them, that little flex, and that's the tendon snapping down through your leg.
It's just rolling right up all the way up to the freaking knee almost.
Just
Yeah.
horrible. I don't know if the end of the game or that the conclusion of the game would have been much different. But he was off to a hot start. He was off to a really good start. I think he was 3 for 3 from 3 or 3 for 4 or 4 for 5, something of that nature.
Yeah.
They could have pulled it out. Definitely reminded me of the KD injury. He was having an amazing playoff run, a historical playoff run. We talked about it on the show. We talked about it off air I know Tyler and we picked OKC in 7, but then I kind of flipped. I wanted Indiana to win because he was on this historic run. I became a fan. I just wanted him to win. So it sucks that as a sports fan, we were kind of robbed of a full strength team, and it just really sucks. And he's going to be gone next year. And possibly, you don't know if somebody's going to be able to get back to what they were, before the injury. So it's definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, comparisons to the Warriors, but obviously, I don't know if the Pacers had enough firepower to overcome what OKC had in comparison to the Warriors and the firepower that we had. That team clearly could have beaten the Raptors at full strength there. But super unfortunate that I think Halliburton, man, yeah,
it ends up being a 12-point win for the Thunder. Obviously the game plays a whole lot differently if Halliburton doesn't get injured, and this injury stems back to Game 5, right? Because it was a calf strain, and he was able to play through it in Game 6, but Game 7, it was kind of the same thing with KD, right? He comes back a little early from the calf strain, and the Achilles just kind of goes from there. So this is the risk of coming back a little bit too soon when you're a super high caliber athlete and you're trying to do the kinds of maneuvers that a top tier, top flight athlete is normally able to do, but you can't quite get there. And
I think the NBA needs to review these playoff schedules. I mean, you have 3 guys that are perennial all-stars and big names in your league, and they all leave with Achilles injuries. You know, Damian Lillard, Jason Tatum, and now Halliburton. Like you need to readdress this playoff schedule. It was not great. You're costing yourself viewership if your players are constantly getting hurt. And if this is the product you're going to put out there, unfortunately, I don't think it's the best formula to keep that product going in the right direction of positivity and north here.
I 100% agree with you. I would say it goes a little further to the regular season, because now you get these teams, you get fined if you don't, if you sit a player for rest and you don't have this load management thing. And I get it, and then the fans get upset because they come out to see the one time that Steph Curry comes out or LeBron James come out to your city, and then all of a sudden they're resting, and there's no discount on the tickets. So I think that whole system needs to change. But I also think it goes into like what we're doing with high school sports and amateur sports, man. And it's not just the AAU stuff. Now the AAU, oh, you got to play this year-round basketball because we're going to get you into college. We're going to, you're going to get the NIL deal. It's just so much money being in an amateur and getting into the school, and now NIL and getting into the NBA. But it's, year-round baseball. It's all of these sports have their, how many miles has Halliburton and these injured players? They all grew up in AAU. So by the time they're 25 years old, they've ran and jumped and worked out 10 times, 20 times more than somebody like Michael Jordan. Like Michael Jordan was not playing basketball 12 months, 24/7. And so I think these guys are getting into the league and their knees are not 20-year-old knees. They're like 25 and then they're 30. Like Halliburton's knees and legs are probably something of a 35, 40-year-old with just how much wear and tear that he's putting on it. But
Yeah,
all the NBA scheduling and stuff is playing a role into it.
The
I just don't know how do you
professionalization of the minors and
how do you
amateurs.
change it? Because there's so much money on the line, and you got kids that they're not going to be able to make it to the NBA, but if they could get a piece of that NIL money, they're going to sacrifice everything to get there. It's the same thing with year-round ball or year-round soccer, year-round lacrosse. I mean, seriously, every sport has some type of year-round league for high school students. For adolescent amateur stuff, like, to me, there is a point to, you just got to be a kid. You just got, go play different sports, give your body a rest, take a summer off when you're not in school. You don't need to play these sports year round, but it's not going to change because it's too profitable. We talked about it in the baseball model, but it's also in basketball. It's just too profitable to keep these kids paying for the leagues, paying for the coaching, paying for the equipment, paying to go into this league and that league and the East Coast League and then come back out west. It's ridiculous. These guys have way too many miles on their bodies. And now we're seeing that. We're seeing the product of these AAU kids get into college, get into NBA, and it's just too much. The body needs rest, and the NBA needs to do something about it. I have no faith that they will do anything about it, because at the end of the day, they're servants to the almighty dollar. They're just going to do what's best for their financial interest. They don't care about the game. They don't care about the quality of the game. As long as you're paying a ticket price and you're buying your NBA TV and you're paying for all this stuff, you're buying the merch, they don't care. They don't care, guys.
Yeah.
Adam Silver's been deflecting this stuff for a few years now.
And he's the best of the commissioners.
Right.
How often do we talk about, like, he's the one that we like the most of these guys,
Yeah.
Like he's the one we give the most flowers to. And if he doesn't care, think about like Goodell. Are you kidding me? He doesn't give a fuck.
No, NFL's going to expand. They're trying to get to
that. I saved it, Tim.
Yeah, I think I would say in more recent years, he's kind of been more susceptible to wanting to make sure he appeases the shareholders. But he's definitely made a lot of improvements from where it was previously. So I just think schedule needs to be reviewed. I get where you're coming at, Sam. Yes, we should let kids be kids, but the NIL is just it's a double-edged sword. Like, yeah, we want college students to be able to, make money off of their own name and likeness. And that wasn't something that they could do up until about 4 years ago, if even that, right? So 2-3 years ago, maybe. So, but again, it's double-edged sword. Now the kids can make money. They're going to go after every opportunity to make that happen. Maybe you grew up in a household that money is not really a thing. And so if you can capture some NIL money to help out the family, like, I get it, man. So
no, I'm saying the AAU, like the high school stuff and the year-round AAU leagues, like these leagues, oh, you got to play in these leagues because you're going to play against the best competition. And if you do well here, we're going to get you to Duke. We're going to get you, you're going to separate yourself. So they're dangling the carrot of NIL, but you're playing basketball year round when you're a high school kid, or you're 14 years old.
Yeah.
And you're traveling the country and the globe playing these tournaments. That's what I'm saying is like, you need to rest when you're a kid. Let college happen. Let the pros happen. It's just all of that compounding mileage. You're shredding these kids' knees by the time they become a young adult.
Yeah. When in high school, like if you were a 2-sport star in football and baseball, like football, your off season for football was baseball, and you were working different muscles and you were doing different things, different exercises. And then it was the opposite for football. You were doing a lot more strength stuff, and that it was just kind of like in a weird way, it was helping a lot of guys. I remember like in, I don't know, 1998 or 99 when, like Alex Rodriguez and Derek Jeter and like those shortstops were coming up. They were talking a lot about how other sports helped them, like basketball and football, and obviously steroids helped Alex Rodriguez too. But we don't need to get into that discussion. But the idea is other sports, being good at multiple sports, help them along their baseball career, and Ricky Henderson is a good example of that. He was a pretty damn good football player, if I remember correctly, right? He was a running back,
and a track star.
And a track star too. Speed, right? Speed kills, right? And turned out to be a pretty damn good baseball player when it was all said and done, because he had the background in other sports as well. And so a little bit of sports diversity in your background in the long run is pretty good. And if you're just getting burnt out on the one sport, doing the same stuff over and over again, it circles back to the Halliburton discussion and the Dame Lillard and everybody else, Jason Tatum in the playoffs. And if they're doing the same thing over and over and over again without any variation from the time when they were 10, 11, 12 years old in AAU, it's no surprise. And we're seeing it the same thing with like the Tommy John surgeries happening 2 and 3 times to the pitchers. So here we are again. Okay, I think we need to I think let's just congratulate the Oklahoma City Thunder. I feel really bad for the Seattle basketball fans right now. This could have been their championship, unfortunately, but because
I kind of forgot that Sam Presti was like from the Seattle years. He's been the general manager a long time, like
really long time. Congratulations to OKC. I got a buddy in Oklahoma, Mike. Congratulations to your team over there. As you put it, the Warriors weren't able to intervene this time. So, but there's always next year. So
yeah, always.
Also, too, I thought it was pure coincidence and odd too that Jason Tatum, Damian Lillard, and Halliburton all wear the number 02 and had the same injury in the playoffs this year. So pure coincidence there.
Stay away from that jersey number, apparently.
Big news in the business side of the NBA. The Buss family have sold a majority ownership stake in the Lakers to the Dodgers ownership for $10 billion with the B.
Jacob likes that.
Yeah, Jeannie Buss is going to serve as the governor after the sale. I'm sure that's probably gonna be maybe like 6-7 months until they appointed somebody else for her to take that place in that role, in that position. But
well, I mean, they're still going to be minority owners, so they're still going to have a chunk of the team, but they're not going to be the majority owners anymore, too.
Right.
So like, they're not selling everything; they're just selling most of it. So yeah. So at least for now, she's still going to stay on as like the voting person. So and you know, we'll see what happens. Like you said, maybe 6-7 months that changes. Maybe 3 or 4 years from now, she's still the person voting on behalf of the Lakers. Who knows? Obviously, we're not Lakers insiders by any stretch of the imagination. He said wearing a Golden State Valkyries t-shirt and a Golden State Warriors hat. Um, so
Well,
yeah, but
that officially makes Jay Maher the most richest ex SNL cast member, because I don't think you guys knew, but he is married to Jeannie Buss. So I just think it's Joe Lacob's going to look at that and go, all right, if they're worth 10 billion, the Warriors have got to be at least for the full thing, right? Say the full thing. 14,
They
15,
gotta be right
16.
there.
Yeah. I'd say they're higher, 14, 15, 16 billion dollars. I know
Yeah,
the Lakers name
yeah.
carries, but that's only a portion of it, right? Let's say 85-90% of the portion, right? It's pretty much the whole thing. Warriors got to be somewhere around there too, right?
Oh yeah. They're right there. Depending on who you ask, they might be worth a little more right now. They might be like, if you're asking like maybe an old school person, they might say the Lakers are still worth more just because of, you know, the old school feels. But like, you know, current business people, I think a lot of them believe that the Warriors brand is valued a little bit higher right now than the Lakers. So either way, Joe Lacob loves this number. So
Yeah, I think there
yeah.
was like a Forbes list that came out a couple years ago, and it was just naming like top organizations, you know, dollar wise in the world, in the globe, right? And I think Manchester United, Manchester City was up there, but I think the Warriors were like top 5 in that list.
Oh
too.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so, anyways,
Yeah. We do all right. You know, it's amazing, isn't it?
yeah.
Okay. Big trade happened just a couple days ago. Phoenix is trading Kevin Durant to Houston in exchange for Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, the number 10 pick in the 2025 draft, and 5 second-round picks. On paper, I think this is pretty close to even. Like just in terms of, you know, value, I think it's, you know, I mean, you're getting a top 10 pick. If you're Phoenix, it didn't work with Kevin Durant, right? Pairing him up with why am I blanking on
Devin
his
Booker.
name? Devin Booker. Yeah, it just didn't work, right? So you're getting the number 10 pick. You're getting 5 random
Second rounders.
yeah, second rounders. Those are basically they're it's weird to call them lottery picks because they're not actually lottery picks, but they're lotto tickets is what they are, right? Like, I mean, they're not gonna hit, but if they do, you know, every now and then you get a Draymond Green in the second round, right? You know,
That being the case, now you said that, just want to reiterate that Dylan Brooks should know that the dynasty starts after him, not with him.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So that's kind of but and then obviously Dylan Brooks, he's a popular villain around these parts, but you know, I think you won't find any of us saying that he's not, you know, a talented player. Like he's good and he's good at what he does, you know, and he's sandpaper.
I'm curious how him and Booker are gonna get
I
along.
wonder how the fit is going to be. That's where I was going.
They did not blend well together.
We'll see now that they have to work together at least for this season. Can they make it work? Or we'll see. And obviously Jalen Green, you know, you get a shooter, another shooter. So that's.
Yeah, Jalen Green's issue with, I mean, during the playoffs, man, it just disappeared for him. I still think, you know, he's got all the talent. You know, he's cut from the same team that him and Kuminga played together with. I'm drawing a blank on them, but they were based out of here at Walnut Creek. But anyways, yeah, I mean, all-world talent, can get to the hoop, you know, has that thing on a string, but I think he just has to get out of his head mentally. And I think Jalen Green is probably the big key piece here as far as Phoenix's situation goes here. Now, what does Phoenix do with Bradley Beal? You know what I mean? Like, can you move him
he has
on?
to approve. He has to approve anything. So, so they're kind of locked up with that one. I don't know. I think like if I had to look at it on paper, I think it makes Houston slightly better just because Kevin Durant, who he is. But if you don't win it this year, you're probably definitely not winning it 2 years from now. So it's like you're all in on this year because it's hard. How old is Kevin Durant going to be next year?
It'll be his age 37 season.
Yeah. See, like him and Curry and LeBron and some of these guys are defined.
The windows are closing, man. Yeah.
But the window is very small right now. So if the Houston Rockets don't make it to a Western Conference Finals or a Finals this year, I think they're done. It's a wrap. So if you really think, if you're the Rockets and you think this pushes you over the top and makes you a championship team, I guess go for it. I don't think it does because I think OKC is going to get better. Like,
yeah, I think OKC is the outlier, but
it's going to get better, and they just won.
I think this Houston team just got a lot better, and they're in the hunt for another big name talent. So, I mean, when you put, as much as we hate this guy just because we had to play him and see him in the series, but Sengun's going to get better. Like, I hate to say it, but he's going to get better. You know what I mean?
This was his first like true taste of playoff action, and he's going to get better for it. Yeah, he's going to be more of a pain in the ass next year. Yeah.
Yeah, and then
he's
the
going
twin
to grow from it.
The twin is just going to get better as a shooter. He's got it locked down defensively. Like, I have no issues with him defensively at all, man. He's going to get better. Fred VanVleet can shoot the lights out. Kevin Durant is just a third or fourth weapon that how do you stop that? You know what I mean? So I think that this team did get better. I do agree with you that OKC is going to be the horse that you're going to have to beat in the race. But by all means, I think if you put this team down right now, I think this team has a chance to make it to the NBA Finals. Like, given the current roster situation with everybody else's rosters, this Rockets team could make it to the finals, in my opinion. You have to get through OKC first, but it could do it.
For sure. Got a puncher's chance, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what you ask for, right? So we get to see how the Warriors are going to respond to, and to be determined.
Yeah.
Only so many things you can do with the budget constraints.
Draft night is already like on Wednesday or something. Like
it's coming up. The draft is coming up, like right around the corner. Yeah, for both the NBA and the NHL. We'll get into those as they approach as well. So yeah, drafts around the corner for the NBA. Yeah, I guess that's basically
June 25th NBA draft.
Yeah, that's on Wednesday. And it's the 27th for the NHL. We'll talk about that in a second. One thing we do need to talk about is WNBA. That's right. We're doing the hat thing again, guys.
All right.
All right. So Valkyries time. On Tuesday, they played the Dallas Wings. I think this is the first time in the history of the Valkyries that they were looking ahead. Okay, because they lose to the Dallas Wings, a team that they should have stomped. They lose by 9. They got out rebounded by 11. They were -8 on the offensive side. They were -5 on turnovers, and they lost the second chance points battle 20-6. But they come back. They play Indiana Fever, and Caitlin Clark comes to town. They win that game by 11, 88-77. The Valkyries were down by 12 early. They closed the gap to 3 points just before like a last second 3 from Aaliyah Boston made it a 6-point game at the halftime. Indiana then, like, coming out of half, pushed it to 13, and then Golden State closed it to 4 at the end of the third. And then just in the fourth quarter, the Valkyries blew the doors open. Veronica Burton hit a dagger too with about 36 seconds left to put Golden State up 10. Caitlin Clark had the clamps on her all game. She was 0 for 7 from 3. She was only 3 of 14 overall. It was she doesn't like the physicality, and that's one thing the Valkyries do really well, is play a physical defensive game. So that was really, really cool to see that happen. And then they followed that game up with a renewed focus, and they curb stomped the Connecticut Sun. That one was about a 20. I didn't even write the score down. I think it was a 24-point blowout or something like that. It was like I got it. It was 87-63. Yeah, it was 24 points. They led by 27 at halftime, thanks to a plus 24-point second quarter. Off the bench, Letitia Amihir had a double off the bench, 10 points and 12 rebounds. Caitlin Chen got her first WNBA minutes, had 5 points, and was plus 15 running the point. They're currently 7-6, and they're 4th in the Western Conference. Also, they are leading the league in attendance. They have sold out every single home game, and so that's 18,064 attending every home game. They're also the next closest is the Indiana Fever, shocker, Caitlin Clark's team, who bring in 16,600 and change, and then the New York Liberty, who are the defending champs, at almost 16,000 a night as well. So yeah, a lot of excitement, obviously, selling out every home game. And then, then you have Caitlin Clark's team and the defending champs. So, a lot of people showing up, and then you're giving them a lot of wins as well. And playing a tough nosed, defense. And it's a lot of fun watching these Valkyries games on TV. I highly encourage watching. The next chance is Wednesday night. They're playing the New York Liberty, the defending champs. That's a 7 p.m. tip-off. All these games are at home, by the way, coming up. Then you have Chicago coming to town. Chicago's not a very good team, so that's a 7 p.m. tip as well on Friday. And then Seattle Storm, that is 5:30 on Sunday. And let's see, the Storm, they're just above, they're a game and a half above the Valkyries right now in the standings in the Western Conference. So that's a team right there. You can, if you play your cards right, you might be able to catch them this week too. So that it's teams right in front of you in the playoffs chase right now. You're a third of the way through the season. I think it is fair to say that the Valkyries probably, there is a reasonable expectation that they should be a playoff team now at this point. Because in the WNBA, they don't do like Eastern Conference and then Western Conference. They just seed the entire thing, like 1 to 8, like the entire WNBA. So, I mean, when you look at just the entire thing, there's only 2 teams in the Eastern Conference above 500. And then in the Western Conference, you got the Valkyries are in 4th at 7-6. So right now they're sitting in 6th place right now. So yeah, out of 8 teams making the playoffs and 13 teams total in the league, the Aces are behind you by a game. So there's 7. The Washington Mystics are about a game and a half behind you. And then anybody else, so there's basically everybody else is like way far behind you. Like Chicago's 3-10, Connecticut is 2-12, LA Sparks are 4-10, the Dallas Wings are 3-12. They did win a couple of games, not just the one against you. They did win another one as well this past week. So yeah, basically there's 9 teams fighting for 8 playoff spots. It's right there for you. So yeah, the opportunities there. The Valkyries, Aces, Mystics, those are the teams that are going to be fighting. And the Fever, actually, too. The Fever are just barely above 500. They're actually just under 500, actually. So all 4 of those teams kind of in the mix for the last 3 playoff spots right now, a third of the way through the season. So that's kind of fun. A third of the way through the season, that's a large enough sample size to know what you're seeing is what you're actually getting. So.
Yeah, I said a lot of opposing teams have come in and said that the energy that the Valhalla gives off is second to none, right? So it just seems like all the basketball fans that were Warriors fans that may have been priced out get to come to these games, and it's actually been an electric atmosphere. So I'm super excited. Me and my wife, we're probably going to go to a game here. She's been talking about wanting to go to one, so. Maybe we go this Friday. Who knows? Maybe it's a Pride celebration night this Friday here too. So could be fun here to see if we can catch a game. So
yeah, totally. Right on. It's time for a hat change. Okay, Bay FC time. All right. Look at that. Okay, so they played Gotham FC. They end up getting the loss 2-1. And so going into this game, Bay FC was 4 wins, 1 draw, and no losses when scoring first. Gotham was 0 wins, 1 draw, and 5 losses when allowing the first goal heading into this game. So naturally, what happened? Bay FC scored first. They get the first goal 11 minutes in from Penelope Hawking. She's been on a heater. There was a little bit of confusion from Gotham. The defense kept Hawking onside. They were kind of out of line. It was actually the last defender back wasn't in line with the rest of the defenders, and so that's kind of what kept Hawking on. She was able to just kind of chip it past the the goalkeeper, and she just kind of toe poked it in. Esther Gonzalez, she answers with a goal in the 30th minute. Gotham FC forced a turnover inside the box, and then Esther was just there to get the 10th goal of the season. That leads the league. So she's also the first Gotham FC player since Sam Kerr to get double-digit goals, which was 17 in 2017, which is just kind of fun. And Sam Kerr is one of the GOATs in soccer. For those of you that don't know, that's the only reason why I brought it up. And then in the 38th minute, Bay FC had an excellent chance, but Taylor Huff, the rookie, hits a cross post. The rookie just can't quite catch a break. She keeps hitting crossbars and posts and just everything. Then she's about 2 inches off from getting about 4 or 5 goals already this season, and it's just the final touch isn't quite there. In the 55th minute, that's where Gotham FC gets their second goal. That's Jace in the 55th minute. Like I said, a deep ball was sent into the box. Jace beats Abby Dahlkemper to a 50-50 ball, and then just kind of one touches it past Emmy Allen. Bay FC had the advantage of play for basically all of the first half, and then it was a fairly even split in the second half, but the final touch, just like I said, it's just elusive. So a little bit unfortunate when you look at the final the final XG. Bay FC had a final XG of 2.89. They should have had 3 goals, and they should have won this game 3-1 if you look at expected goals. But unfortunately, that's soccer for you. Sometimes they lose 2-1 instead of winning 3-1. Bummer. Good news for the team. 2 players called up to the under 23 U.S. women's national team, Emmy Allen and Taylor Huff. The two rookies getting their call up. Also, Rachel Kundananji called up to Zambia's national team, and Oshuala called up to the Nigerian national team as well. So congrats to them as well. So that's kind of nice to see them getting their called up as well. Bay FC is currently sitting in 10th position. I didn't update those stats, so ignore that in our show doc. Right now, they're on the outside looking in of the playoffs. They need to start getting some W's on the board. They've lost their last 2. They're on a break though. We're on a summer break right now. They got some friendlies coming up. The next NWSL match isn't until August against the Houston Dash. Just a reminder, I believe it's the 23rd of August. That is going to be the huge match against the Washington Spirit, and that will be taking place at Oracle Park in San Francisco.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Time to start thinking about that. So, with that being said, the U.S. women's national team roster dropped. That's the best I can do. I got the Captain America hat on. It's the best I can do. All right. Okay, so you got 2 games against Ireland, June 26th in Colorado, and then June 29th in Cincinnati, and then you're playing Canada July 2nd in DC. Most of the European-based players are getting a break this round, except for Naomi Girma, and she's not, because right now they're kind of looking for who's going to be her partner on the back end. So it's sort of an audition to see who's going to be the permanent partner for your alternate captain. Rose Lavelle is back. It's her first call up in 6.5 months due to an ankle injury, so that's good. 6 players on this roster have yet to be capped. 4 of them have never even been called into a camp before. So that's good for them. And we're going to see a lot of familiar faces though. Anyway, Terry McEwen is back again. Giselle Thompson is back on defense this time. They had her up as a forward in the last camp, but they're putting her back on defense this one. Corey Bethune is back. Sam Coffey's back. A lot of familiar faces. Olivia Moultrie's back for forwards. Lynn Biondolo, Michelle Cooper, Yasmin Ryan, Emma Sears, Ali Sentnor, Alyssa Thompson. So yeah, a lot of familiar faces, but we're gonna see a couple of new players as well. Izzy Rodriguez. That was the one that came to mind specifically. Bug, Riel, and Mesa as well.
Nice. It'll be their first time call-ups.
Yeah. It'll be their first times at camp as well. So Emma keeps expanding the camp as well. She keeps saying she's going to bring in new players, right? And that's part of the churn, right? 2027 is only a couple years away from the Women's World Cup, and then you got the Olympics the following year. So that's what this whole process is for, right? And we keep circling back to this. You're prepping for it now by expanding the roster. Now you're getting players experience with the international level but you're also just seeing who's capable of performing at the international level. And some of these players are doing a lot better than you thought, and some of them, they get a taste. Maybe they're not quite ready for it. They go away. They come back a little bit later. Somebody like Emily Sams, she's back again after a little bit of time away, so that's good. Now,
if only the men's side could get prepped and ready.
Right. Yeah. So this is their last chance, actually. So speaking of the men's side, they are currently playing in the Gold Cup. They played Saudi Arabia on Thursday. They get the 1-0 win. Attendance problem in Austin for this game. Look at that. It's not just a San Jose problem. Maybe it's a maybe it's a U.S. men's national team problem. There's not enough excitement for this team. At least San Jose is getting rid of their problem. We'll talk about that in just a hot second. Chris Richards got the lone goal. That was off of a set piece. They checked VAR for offsides. It was very, very close. But an arm kept them onside. The goal stood. So congrats to the men for getting the job done in a very ugly manner, but winning's winning. So then they play Haiti on Sunday. That Dallas Cowboys Stadium was cavernous, is what I heard it referred to as on the Men in Blazers pod. Tyler Adams made his presence known immediately by drawing a yellow card in the first 30-ish seconds of the game. Malik Tillman gets a goal in the 10th minute. Patrick Agerman gets the second goal in the 75th minute. They surrendered a goal in the 19th minute. But you get the win 2-1. You breathe a sigh of relief. You controlled the run of play 72 to 28 possession. The only yellow card was that first yellow card that Tyler Adams did. So, it wasn't pretty. It could have been a lot worse. It could have been a lot worse.
The level of where this team should be at this point in time is nowhere near where it's supposed to be.
No, absolutely. And part of that is missing some of the top flight players being gone, be it to needing rest or the Club World Cup or, what have you. Some of these players that have this opportunity to step up just aren't. A couple of them are. Ajimin is stepping up big time. Malik Tillman stepping up. I think Chris Richards has stepped up. Haji Wright had to leave the camp because of an injury. But other than that, yeah, it's been kind of lackluster for the most part. Was hoping for a Diego Luna clinic, and it's been kind of like he's been okay, but I'm expecting a little bit more out of them. Their next game is going to be against Costa Rica in Minnesota. That'll be on Sunday, I believe.
Right.
So, you got some downtime right now. Hopefully the boys stay in shape, stay locked in, and actually get this W here in the knockout stages. And we'll be able to talk about that next week.
Yeah, just I know it's an unfortunate situation, but it's just the level of excitement that the women's have. It's I wish it would be somewhat, even to a slighter degree, reciprocated on the men's side, because it just seems like they're just going through the motions. These games don't mean anything to them. Where the women's side, these games don't really mean much to them either, but they're using them as a way to tool it up and get ready for what's coming down the road, which is a can of whoop ass that they're about to put on the rest of the world. So I just wish that the men could have that same perspective and feel for it. It doesn't seem like it's there,
Right.
As a ultra casual soccer fan, even I know the women's team is, light years ahead of the men's team. I don't know as much as you guys know about this, but I didn't catch a whole lot of it the past week or so, but they need to do something to get to a platform that get to a level that's higher. Like we talked about this a couple months ago when they were announcing the team, Vince. Like they need to go deeper into this into the tournament where what was the pool last time? They got eliminated pretty early.
Yeah. It was the Gold Cup. Yeah. They got dog walked in this, man. It was embarrassing.
Yeah, but that's also the thing. But that's also the thing too, is that like Saudi Arabia. I mean, no offense to their team. They have great players. They've made their own national squad, but you win 1-0
against their B squad also. Like they don't have a lot of their best players either.
Like, what are you doing? Like that's a win, but that's an L.
Yeah.
All in the same time, Yeah,
it's a D. It's a draw.
Yeah. It doesn't feel like a win. If you could ever win a game and not feel like you won a game, that would be it, right? Mm-hmm. So, but anyways, speaking of L's turning into W's, great news coming out of San Jose.
Your boy, Vinny G, goes full Oracle again.
The San Jose Earthquakes are up.
Just to prove I'm not a damn liar, I do have a hat. It was in that closet. It's right here on my head right now. It's the first time I put this fucker up freaking thing on.
He tried so hard.
You know what? 45 minutes in, man. I'm excited.
Penalty box. 2 minutes in the penalty box.
Whatever.
Red card.
These San Jose Earthquakes are up for sale. Reported on Tuesday by Sportico, literally a day after Vance's rant, as he eloquently put in our show notes here. John Fisher is putting up a controlling interest in the team on the market to help fund his quest to Las Vegas, which we will touch base on that later on in the show. In January, the team was valued at $600 million. That is pathetic, given the circumstances of other teams in the league and where they've grown. The same price of Real Salt Lake sold in April of this year. So the Vancouver Whitecaps have also been on sale in December, so this might not be a speedy process. But nonetheless, the San Jose Earthquakes are now up for sale. So at least we can relinquish the hands of him from that team.
It's kind of funny. Just a really quick history lesson. The oracles in ancient Greece, a lot of times they got misinterpreted. When I was ranting about the quakes and everything last week, my purpose was about like obviously I wanted to shine a light on like how terrible the ownership is, right? And just like I wanted this man to sell everything, right, and to just be gone from sports. I didn't expect it to happen so immediately, and I also didn't expect it to be I didn't expect it to be only the Quakes, but unfortunately it is what it is. And unfortunately, by selling the Quakes, he's making his stadium in Las Vegas more likely to actually happen. So it's coming at a cost. I am correct, but I'm paying a terrible, terrible price for being correct, as normal, because I am the Oracle.
Out of curiosity, I mean, there's no way we're going to know who might be interested, but if you could
Yeah.
pick someone to be interested, would you want the 49ers organization to be interested, since it's kind of a landlocked area
They're
for
already
them?
there. I mean, and then you could in theory like have some games happen at at Levi Stadium. You could have a lot more games happen there at Levi Stadium. Have fireworks games, special games there, or you could just have basically all your games there and sell PayPal Park to the Bay FC group, and they can do with that stadium, make that a Bay FC specific stadium and do with it what they want as well. Or there's different options where you can go with it, or whatever. Like there's a lot of options on the table if you do end up selling to the 49ers group. If you set I don't know that they would sell it to the Sharks group. I don't think that that's really what the Sharks are interested in doing. I don't know if Hasso Plattner's looking for a MLS team. I could be wrong. But I don't know that. I don't get a feel that that's really what he's interested in doing. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But
I'm ruling out Joe Lacob.
Yeah, I think the 49ers seem like a more likely buyer, but also there are tech douchebags aplenty here that would be willing to buy the San Jose Earthquakes. I'm sure there are plenty of them that will be just as bad as John Fisher. None of them will be worse than him. So I am viewing this as worst case scenario, a lateral move. Okay. We like the only way it gets any worse for Earthquakes fans is if Quakes get taken away again, and that's already happened to us once. Houston, the Houston Dynamo, their championship in 2005, that belongs here in San Jose. That's a San Jose Earthquakes title.
Yeah.
So other than that, yeah. So that's the only way they can actually that's the only way an owner could do worse than what John Fisher has done to the Quakes, and he's did it to the A's, and we'll talk about that in a second. Anyway, let's move on to hockey. I think we need to. It's hat changing time.
So like a carousel kind of music, like
something like, I don't know, something like circusy. Stanley Cup date. It's been official. The Florida Panthers get the job done. Sam Reinhart and Matthew Tkachuk score in the first period. Reinhart adds a second goal in the second period, and then Edmonton empties the net in the third, leaving Reinhart to add two more empty netters. Then Evander Kane does some dumbassery by hacking at Matthew Tkachuk and gets a 10-minute misconduct penalty, ending his night. He doesn't come out for the handshake. Florida wins the game 5-1, securing their second straight Stanley Cup. Sam Bennett wins the Conn Smythe Trophy as the playoffs MVP with 15 goals over the playoffs. That led the league. And so congrats to the Florida Panthers, whatever. I'm not happy about it. I'm glad that Corey Perry got shut out. Let me be very clear.
This man will never let Perry relive the one championship he's got.
May Corey Perry never know a moment of rest for his entire life.
I feel like you need to explain to Sam the situation, like
Corey
why
Perry
he's so hated. Corey
Perry was an Anaheim Duck. I almost said the wrong word.
His only championship is with.
His only championship. It's just a longtime villain of Sharks fan. There's a lot of
happened.
Yeah. And anyway, we don't need to get into the true history of it. What you need to know is, in the last 6 years, Corey Perry has been to the Stanley Cup Finals 5 times and has lost every single time. That's what you need to know.
He's won one,
and he's won one, but that was back in 2007. That was a long time ago. So in the last 6 years, he's been to the Stanley Cup Finals 5 times and has lost every time he's been. And
well, he's
Down
1-1,
boy.
so does that?
Down boy.
But is he still up there with like the Jim Kelly-esque type of people?
Yeah. You go to the Stanley Cup, you go to the final 5 times in the last 6 years, and you don't win at all. Oh yeah, that is bad luck. That is real bad luck. Marian Hossa took like 3 tries, but he finally did get one. So like he got his like he was able to sweep away that bad luck on the 3rd try. But yeah, 5 times in a row and you don't get it done. Oh, I am so happy about that. Oh yeah. Oh yes. Yes. Oh baby. I love that. Oh, the tears of unfathomable sadness. I literally sent that Cartman licking the tears off of Scott Tenorman's face meme to you guys when that happened. Oh, it's so good. It was so tasty. Oh, yummy.
I think we found our short of the week.
Yeah, I think so. Connor McDavid is the first player in NHL history to record 90+ points in 9 straight seasons and not win a cup in any of them. So that I do feel a little bit bad for Connor McDavid, but you teamed up with Corey Perry, so I don't feel that bad.
Do you think Connor McDavid wants to wear teal? Just being.
If he wants to wear teal, I would happily welcome him over here. I would, but that's not going to happen. I don't have to entertain it.
Sharks got Connor McDavid, and you keep your young core. How the fuck are they not one of the Stanley Cup favorites?
They would absolutely be. They would skyrocket to the they would skyrocket like betting. They would be betting favorites for sure. They would be like all of a sudden like you couldn't keep enough money off of them. Like Vegas would have to pay you to not put money on them.
Right. Yeah.
Like that's what would happen. They on ice they would probably be like. Maybe like Western Conference Finals or something like that is probably where I would expect them to be, just because they're still a little too young. They still a couple more pieces away. Need some help on the defensive end as well.
I was just gonna say you would, if you brought that, if that were somehow to happen, you would then have to go out and sign like 3 of the top defensemen like now. Like,
yeah, exactly. It is go time now if you do that. But yeah,
you would have to.
So Connor's going to be a free agent next year, 2025,
it's
2026.
It's not this year.
Yeah, so next year he's going to be a unrestricted free agent. I'm throwing it out there, you might as well sprinkle some crumbs where you can. Huh?
Yeah, I mean, but also that means starting July 1, Edmonton can extend him.
Yeah. That is true.
So, I mean, I'm just going to operate under the assumption that Edmonton has the extension already in place and they're going to extend him. And if they don't extend him, then I will be pleasantly surprised. That's just how, when an all-world talent like this becomes available, I will be I am pleasantly surprised. And then you go after him.
Yeah.
Because he's worth it.
Absolutely.
But until that happens, just operate under the assumption that he is not available. So that's how I'm going to play this.
You never know. Connor McDavid could be upset that he's gone multiple times and can't get over the hump. So maybe he wants
absolutely.
To ring chase,
and maybe he doesn't want to sign, and that's where you get pleasantly surprised. Okay.
Yeah.
But Mike Greer is not banking on that being a possibility. Okay. But if the extension,
and you got his teammate in Team Canada on deal.
We'll see. It's
That'll
fun.
be the segment for this bit.
It's fun to
McDavid
dream about.
To San Jose.
It's fun to dream about. It's not happening. It's fun to dream about.
That's gonna be the caption icon. That's how we're gonna get all the
full Oracle again.
SJ Sharkey inducted to the Mascot Hall of Fame. The hardest working fish in sports finally gets the call. Well deserved. Atta babe. That's my dude.
We all voted.
Stick taps for the man. Love that dude. He's a real one, man. Hardest working fish in sports. Let's see, what else do we got?
This is a shocker.
Yeah, Jonathan Taves. He's going home. He's signed with Winnipeg. He signed a contract 1 year. It's heavy on the bonuses. let's see, it's a $2 million base salary and then $5 million available in potential bonuses. So 550,000 each for 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 games played marks. 500,000 if the Jets make the playoffs and Taves plays 50 games. 250,000 each for rounds 1, 2, and 3 wins, with Taves playing 50% of the games, and 1 million for Stanley Cup win, with Taves playing 50% of the games. So if Taves plays a lot of games for Winnipeg and they win the Stanley Cup, he's making basically all of that money, like all 7 million of it. So that would assume a pretty good signing for them if he's contributing and they win the Stanley Cup. So
it's gonna be tough, man. You haven't played in 2 years and you're
Yeah.
37 years old, so it's gonna be tough.
Yeah, he had long COVID and he had chronic inflammatory response syndrome as well. So and he sat out 2 seasons as well. So just it's coming back from being out that long. We'll see. He was a all-time great Chicago Blackhawk player as well. But we'll see. If he's got anything left in the tank, Winnipeg's kicking the tires on it. We'll see if that happens. And finally, the draft is coming this week, and they also released the preseason schedule for the Sharks. You get 2 games at home against Vegas, then you play a home and home down in Anaheim, then back up here against Anaheim, and then you go at Vegas and then at Utah, October's 3rd and 4th in back-to-back. And then the regular season, I would imagine, starts probably around October 8th or something like that, 7th or 8th. But
Just so everyone
those
knows,
dates are not yet released.
the draft on Friday is 4:00. So
Yeah.
get your butts home early.
Yep. I'm still on the clock at that point, but your boy Vinny G's got a TV right here, so I'll just have that on.
They got the
I'll be
San Jose
working.
Sharks got 4 picks inside the top 53 picks.
Yep. So they'll be busy.
Yeah.
GM Mike Greer's gonna stay busy.
I wouldn't be shocked if he trades up 2 of those picks for a player, like maybe a defensive player, if they don't get Schaefer in this draft here. So I look out for that too.
Yeah. So I would say Michael Misa is probably going to be the pick for the Sharks at number 2. However, if the Islanders are dumb, Schaefer is going to be the guy. If Schaefer falls to us at number 2, that's the pick.
It's a real possibility, though. I mean, because the Islanders have really good defensive young talent in their roster, so it's a very real possibility.
Scoring,
yeah, and they do need scoring. Misa would fill a lot of holes for them. So
I'm not like I said, I'm never gonna count the Islanders out of doing something stupid, but also I'm just
I don't even know if it'd be a stupid move for them. I think they're looking at a possibility of a world talent score.
I think when it comes to hockey, you just draft best available. You don't worry about position. I think you let position be the tiebreaker, but you don't worry about. You just go best available, and best available is Matthew Schaefer at number 1 in a lot of people's opinion. So
I could really see the Sharks if they don't get Schaefer at number 2. I could see them using all this draft capital and next year's capital to move up this year and maybe not get into the number 1 pick, but get somewhere in the middle of the first round to take another defenseman. Because that's their biggest setback right now is they got some guys. I know they got Sam Dickinson down there. He's probably right on the cusp of making the team next year, but we'll see. But that's really the thing that they really need to focus on is defensemen right now. Like you can look up and down their like the Barracuda roster, and they got a couple guys, but we've talked about this a lot. That's kind of like the most difficult position to get into the NHL, for a young player. So I wouldn't be surprised if in the later rounds, if they don't make trades, they're just taking the best defenseman available to get as many in the pipeline as possible. But if it's Misa, man, like the dude is going to score. And, so if you outscore the other team, you're going to win some games. So maybe there's a strategy in that too. I just know that I'm super stoked for this team, for this franchise. And, It's kind of similar to what, OKC did, the Eagles are doing, right? Build the best roster. Like, just add as much talent as you can to this roster. And that's what Mike Greer and the Sharkies are doing.
Yeah.
Agreed.
All right. We have just one note on football. Yeah, I'm gonna change the hat for it.
Oh God.
All right, here we go. The Ravens signed Jair Alexander after Green Bay cut him a couple weeks ago, like idiots. So the Ravens get better. Obviously he's had health issues. If he stays healthy, that's an all-pro cornerback
in 2 years or something
Yeah.
like that. So
Yeah, but all-pro cornerback if he's healthy, and the Ravens, that's a team that's competing for a Super Bowl. This is the kind of risky, in quotes, move that you can afford to make.
yeah,
Why not? It makes sense, and it makes sense for him. It makes sense for them, and I think it's probably a pretty good fit. And it's a fresh start, and he doesn't have to be in that nowhere town, Green Bay. So there we go. Good, win. Everybody wins, I guess, with that move. All right. Let's see.
Back to baseball.
All right, here we go.
got a hat for this. Oh,
Just the
The
Coliseum.
only hat that matters.
okay.
Oakland Coliseum.
Yeah,
One's a
this
little
is gonna be
big.
a fun one. Groundbreaking event today for the Las Vegas A's.
Yeah.
If you could watch paint dry, I think I'd rather have sat through that than watch this press conference. So, the A's have announced where home plate is going to be at their new established ballpark in Las Vegas, hence why John Fisher is selling off his San Jose Earthquakes soccer club here to pay for this thing because he has no money. So a part of me thinks that this is still going to collapse and John Fisher might end up selling the team anyways, but we can put a pin in, or we can basically put a fork into it, and it's official. They are going to Vegas now. That is a done deal. But again, I still think that John Fisher's going to find a way to mess this up and have to sell the team anyway. So there's still that out there impending.
So, like, with this groundbreaking ceremony, I truly believe that this happened not because the A's wanted to, it was because they had to, because the land has been cleared that was already on schedule, but there's also a certain date they need to have a certain amount of money of liquidity in the bank account to keep the Las Vegas deal going. So this, $400 million, whatever it was that Las Vegas approved, there's a lot of triggers and mechanisms that the A's need to do to keep this deal going. I still think this is just a checkbox thing. And there's going to somehow, some way, I still believe John Fisher is going to fuck it up. Because how many times has he announced or had a press conference? There's Fremont, San Jose, Laney College, Coliseum, Power Terminal, back to the Coliseum.
Yeah.
They own half the site of the Coliseum and couldn't figure it out. All they needed to do was call the city of Oakland and say, okay, we bought the county half. We want to buy your half. And you would have had the largest footprint in all of Major League Baseball. You could have done whatever the hell you wanted, and you couldn't get it done. Why? Because you're broke. You're a joke. This guy's not serious about winning. It's very nice to hear that he's going to sell the Earthquakes. My only hope now is when he does sell it, it's, a year from now, and it's a slow and painful process. And the reason why I say that is because then he doesn't have the money to get this thing done in Las Vegas. My feeling is if it gets done in Vegas, at some point he's just going to sell it and take his money. And the whole point of getting the A's to Las Vegas was strictly to get all Oakland sports out of the market. When he signed that 10-year deal with Libby Schaff, it was the death to all Oakland professional sports. Everybody around him everybody in the media was saying, do not sign this deal. And, that's not on just John Fisher. That's Libby Schaff in the city of Oakland for even offering it. a below market $1 million a year for 10 years. How much money did the city of Oakland lose on that dumbass deal?
Yeah.
So it's stupidity all the way around. But John Fisher is the biggest villain in the Bay Area because he never truly wanted to be here. The whole rooted in Oakland message was a lie. It was false. And, you know, his whole team, Dave Cavall and even Billy Bean is a villain in this. He's not innocent. Look at how many times the A's traded away star players, refused to compete. You had a 97 win playoff team and you completely fucking gutted it because you really don't want to win. You didn't want fans there. And he's going to do this. Look at how he's alienating the fans in Sacramento. The freaking AAA team is outdrawing the A's. No one's going to show up to the Las Vegas. It's going to be a thing for a year. And we all know there's always something else shinier than baseball in Las Vegas. It's going to wear off real quick, guys.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else we can really add to that. Yeah, it's just I think about the money that that is already, you know, in place or whatever that is. You have the 350 from Las Vegas. MLB itself, I think, is going to contribute probably about 250 or something like that. You got Aeromark putting in like 175, I think. You got the bank putting in 250 or something like that. So when you add in all those pieces, you're about halfway there, which means to cover the rest of it, the Fishers still need to put in like 1.1 billion or something like that. And these are numbers coming in from just like rough math from like other people that have done it, like
well, don't forget too,
orders and stuff. And
tariffs are totally a thing. So this
yeah. So assuming it's assuming the stadium ends up costing 2 billion instead of 1.75, the Fishers still need to come up with 1.1 billion or something like that. And so if you sell off the Earthquakes, if you sell off the entire thing and you get 600 million for it, you're only going to be able to probably put 300 of that toward this, right? So you still got to come up with 700 million, right? So that's so I mean, even then you're still, you know, 750 million short. So I this is there's still questions here.
Yeah.
And
where is the rest of this coming from?
Like the agreement with MLB that he can't sell the team. Like you can't. You know, you can't just sell the team, get the deal in Las Vegas and then sell the team. You have, I think it's like a 10-year thing before he can actually like sell and get out of the whole business of owning the A's. So if he does sell the team when they get to Las Vegas, he's gonna have to pay penalties to the rest of the owners. At the end of the day, man, this guy was a former Giants owner, and how it's on the record that him and his family were quote unquote supposed to be stewards of the game and stewards of the Giants and keep them in San Francisco before they relocated. You know, there was the talk they were going to relocate to Florida. This guy became a minority owner of the Giants. When he owned the A's, he would show up to the A's and Giants games in Giants gear. So it's really hard for me to believe that this guy was ever truly invested in the A's and that this was a systematic thing to get the A's out of the market, man. It's really hard. I know it's all tinfoil hat, but change my mind, because if you really wanted to make money and you own half the Coliseum site, you could have put a stadium, you could have owned Oracle Arena, you could have built a hotel, you could build a theme park. You could put whatever on this site and you would own 100% of it. 160 acres in the Bay Area with a stadium and an arena already on it. You could have done, it could have been a playground. You could have had the biggest, largest footprint in all of sports, shopping malls, whatever the hell you want. And you didn't pick up the phone to buy it from the city of Oakland because you didn't want to. The goal was to get this team out of the market. Period.
Yep. Well, I think on that bombshell, might be time to see about wrapping this bad boy up here.
Yeah.
guys, as always, thank you for listening to the SVT podcast. Subscribe on YouTube and hit the bell to get alerts when we go live. Also, if you don't have time, we are putting out miniature episodes throughout the week. And, come on in, give us some chats. We had some people comment the last couple episodes. It's been fun. We love doing that with you guys. Love interacting with all of you. So if you can't reach us here on the live show, you can always follow us on Instagram and Threads at SVT Sports Pod. Slide into the DMs. We'd love to interact with all you guys. Thank you so much.
Later, guys. Have a great night.
Good night, FJF.